We are less than an hour away from the release of new decisions. We are keeping an eye out for rulings on abortion rights and the Second Amendment, among other major cases. So Chief Legal Correspondent Jan Crawford is in Washington watching for all of these decisions for us. Jan, thanks for joining us. So there are a number of actually sort of big cases, but I'm going to start with the real biggie, which is the one that, you know, has the possibility of overturning Roe v. Wade. We had this draft document released. What are the chances that that document will hold in the way that we saw it? And could these justices, I don't know, change their mind?
Well, sure. I mean, the justices can always change their minds. The odds of that in this case, I think, are pretty slim. I mean, obviously what happened was there was the first draft of a ruling that was leaked to Politico a couple months after that draft was kind of issued internally, and it suggested that the court was ready to overturn Roe versus Wade and uphold this Mississippi ban on abortions after 15 weeks. And people told Politico, and others have confirmed, that 5 justices, a majority, had signed on to that document, meaning that Roe versus Wade was going to be history, the landmark 1973 ruling. So we're all waiting, as you suggested, to see if that draft is going to hold, if it's going to change, if one of the justices, because you've got to have 5 to get a majority, so it only takes 1, may peel off and take a more narrow approach, which has been suggested by the Chief Justice, John Roberts. But like I said, I don't see any indication that that's going to happen. And really, if you look back at the oral arguments in this case back in early December, 5 justices signaled then through their questions that they believed Roe was lawless, was a raw act of judicial power when it was decided, was not in the Constitution, and should be overturned. So I think the surprise would be if the court backs off that draft and says we're not going to do it at this point. That would be a surprise.
All right, so that's Roe v. Wade.
But we're waiting on that. We're, you know, like everyone, we're waiting to see what happens. And, you know, the court's going to want to get out of town, too, at some point. The justices are due to finish up their session by the end of June. They typically do. Sometimes they go a little bit into July. But, you know, who knows? They may want to hit the road before all that holiday travel at the end of next week, too. So either way, we're going to get this decision in the next, I would say, certainly 2 weeks, but possibly by the end of next week.
So why do you think they've delayed it, Jan? If it seems that it's probably going to go the way that most people believe, why delay?
That's a great question, and you could see why people would wonder that, but it's just the way the court works. I mean, it's a very deliberative process. So when you have a first draft of an opinion that a justice has written, that gets circulated. And so then justices who would agree with the bottom line might say, like, you know, I don't like this paragraph 5, or, you know, another justice might say, we got to rework this. So it's all part of like the process of crafting the final product, and that takes a long time. And then you have dissents, and the dissents get to look at the majority opinion, and they respond to that, and then the majority opinion will respond to the dissents. So in these controversial cases, those are the ones that we get at the end of June, not because they're just waiting, you know, so they can drop them and get out of town, hit the road, and get stuck in traffic or whatever. They're actually, those cases take the most time. They're typically 5 to 4. You've got a bunch of different justices wanting to weigh in, and that's why even in the last few weeks, the cases that we've been getting have been, you know, 9-0, 7-2. Some of they're not as controversial. They're simpler cases for the court to dispose of, and the controversial ones all come at the end. And there are several this term. I mean, there are several big cases. There's a big case involving gun rights out of New York. There's a case involving school prayer. There's another case involving religious state funding to religious schools. So kind of a big term for the separation of church and state as well. But it really, I mean, you could have the second biggest blockbuster ever, and the case that could potentially overturn Roe versus Wade would overshadow anything. That will be the case that will forever define this term. That will be the case that people will be talking about for a generation or more, because the court will be reversing that landmark decision that totally changed society, struck down the laws of 46 states when they issued it, and so the court would be saying, no, that was wrong, and we're going to fix it. That's what the conservatives are suggesting they're going to do.
And, you know, I think the thing about it, too, Jan, is there are all these sort of trigger laws in a number of states. So it's a kind of change that people could feel almost immediately. They will see the change in their state.
That's right. That's right, and some of the trigger laws have different mechanisms for how they'll be implemented, but most of them say that the minute Roe's overturned, this is going to take effect in our state. Some take 30 days, but most will go into effect immediately, meaning that in many of those states, abortion, more than a dozen, would be banned immediately. And those, of course, are in the more conservative states, the more Republican-leaning states. And you've got the flip side now, where you've got the liberal states who are passing laws saying, we're going to allow abortion, don't worry. Women can come here, and you have a whole network that's being established to help women get to those states if they can't afford the journey and they need an abortion.
All right, Jan, thank you very much. We appreciate it.